Aloha, aloha, everybody. This is Shane Austin and Dave Austin, your co-hosts of Aloha Friday.
Today, aloha, bro!
Oh, that was terrible. Tell me how you think of his pigeon accent. Jeez, it's been a while. So today what we're going to talk about is the title right there.
What are you talking about, huh?
Okay, hey, can you please not interrupt while I'm trying to introduce us? Today we are going to talk about Friday the 13th. Today, is it a lucky day? Is it an unlucky day? We're going to dive into that because we're going to talk about really our belief system because, hey, it's really a belief. If you believe in luck or if you believe in you create your own luck. So we are going to dive into that in a little bit. Obviously, we'll cover the queek. We'll cover the tip of the day. We'll cover, I don't know, what else? What things we're into? What weird stuff?
The books we're reading or we recommend, this is your information center, baby. This is where we make business casual, have fun. It's Friday. We're supposed to keep, growing and learning, but having a blast as we do it.
Hey, it is Friday. Just before you take off for the weekend, grab a Mai Tai with us, and we will set you off on the weekend on the right foot because greatness can come in many forms. And today, greatness is made casual. So let's get going. And before we do, look at this. I got a little, I don't know if you can see this, but I just made us a little bit more aloha today. Or let's see. You'll just have to trust if you can't see it.
I'm going to trust. I can't see it. I believe in you, man. I trust.
We have a frame of flowers, aloha flowers that are just kind of around us right now, which is kind of cool. So as we always, well, not always, but I like to always start with a little, as we call, trivia time. And now I can't find my, here we go. I'm back on Be Live, so I want to be able to throw in the title screens. There we go. Now we got this thing together. All right. As we're live, we're going to have people come on live with us here soon. So I want to be able to ask them the questions too. And if you are viewing as a replay, still engage with us, comments, because we love to engage with all of you guys. But first here, Dave, what are you grateful for today? I'm just putting you on the spot.
I'm grateful that, I'm living here in Utah, a whole new experience springtime where, today it was snowing. Wednesday we're out. I was in a bathing suit and a t-shirt having dinner out on the front porch. So, that whole difference of wow, and Wednesday though we did ski. It was awesome. Perfect conditions. I love all the outdoor activities that I get to share in here and share with Kathy. And so I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, the weather, not quite in California anymore, are you?
No, I still love California, don't get me wrong, but I'm loving and being grateful for the new experience.
Well, I thought we were already getting into summer, and this morning when I went to go work out, there was actually some snow coming down. So it's really kind of weird weather. And then we're supposed to be sunny and 75 this weekend. So I couldn't tell you. I wouldn't want to be a weatherman this time of year because it's all over the place. But with that said, let's get into some trivia. And it's not really trivia. I just want to see. There's no wrong or right answer. I just want to. Let's get to know Dave Austin a little better.
But you always put me in the spot. Oh man.
He doesn't know what's coming.
Maybe.
He never knows what's coming. And if you're watching live or if you're watching the replay, answer in the comments with us. We would love to see your guys' answers. So, question.
And no negative comments on my answers, okay? That's off ground.
No, we encourage negative comments. So, please, roast Dave as much as I like to. So, number one, what would you name your boat if you had one? And by the way, I'm not going to give you 5 minutes for every answer. Nobody wants to see that. You got to be quick. This is a fire round.
You float my boat.
You float my boat. So we're just going with whatever comes to Dave's mind right on the So this could get really interesting. And it's live, so there's nothing we can do about it. So definitely comment if you guys have your own boat name. For me, I'm going to go with SS Falco, which stands for Sugar Shane Falco. If anybody watches The Replacements, Shane Falco. He actually named his boat Fixius. So maybe I'll name my boat Fixius.
So I'll really be truthful. I like to float my boat, but Big Wave Dave, since you're going with your thing.
Number two, what celebrity would you rate as a perfect 10? Obviously, nobody's perfect, but
Jesus.
Is he a celebrity? Does that count as a celebrity? I can't wait.
I can come up with.
I can't wait for his E True Hollywood story or the 30 for 30 on him. That's what I'm looking forward to. I put down. Well, I love JT. JT, I think can do no wrong, but I think in more recent times, Will Smith. If anybody's following Will Smith, that guy is freaking. That would be a life I'd like to live. Well, I mean, I love my life, but he's looking like he's having a lot of fun, and that guy has got it. He is on the same wavelength, I guess.
I'll throw one more out. I like what I said first. I'll go with my first one, but I've been getting a lot of heat because I've been talking about how much I love Sarah Bareilles' voice. So I'll say Sarah Bareilles just because I think she's a freaking amazing artist.
Interesting. I do too. I got to see her in concert, actually. She was great live. So number 3, best/worst purchase you've ever made. I'm really looking forward to your worst purchase you've ever made. If you want, while you're thinking, I kind of already thought these through. So I'll tell you I'm going recent. I'm going I don't want to go through my entire life purchases, but just recently we purchased a Lull bed, Lull. It's kind of memory foam. They deliver right to your door. It's seriously the best purchase. I look forward to sleeping every single night. It's so comfortable. I used to have back problems and I would wake up just stiff. The bed would arc. Now this gives me support, but also comfort, and I cannot wait to get into bed. So Lull purchase, totally worth it. Worst purchase is I saw an ad on Facebook, spiral ear cleaners. So I know it's bad to put Q-tips in your ears and all that stuff. So they have this spiral. You put it in and you spin it out, and it's supposed to get all of that gunk out. But they didn't work at all. There's some like Chinese knockoff. Waste of money. Do not get trapped or tricked by the Facebook ads on that. All right, you have a best and worst
I have the best. I'm really having a hard time with the worst. I know there's got to be some bad things, but the best, the best. Well, one thing most recently is we have a Mercedes all-wheel, all-weather tires, sports SUV Mercedes. It is the most enjoyable car on the planet to drive. And when I'm in snow or anything, because now we're living here, I feel so safe. I feel so secure. And even though I love the car we had before, it wasn't 4-wheel drive, didn't have the all-weather tires, and it makes such a difference. So it makes living here much more enjoyable. That was a freaking awesome buy.
So you have Mercedes-Benz tires on a non-Mercedes-Benz car.
No, I have a Mercedes car.
You have a Mercedes car?
We have an SUV.
What? I didn't even know that. Okay. Did you have a worse purchase? That's really what I'm looking forward to hearing.
What
is a purchase you regret?
Oh, okay. Kathy,
we had to poll the audience. We had to poll the audience. Yeah. Phone a friend.
She overheard that and she said that we bought a van and Kathy's not a big fan of vans and I'm not either, but we did it when you guys were younger and they even used us as a commercial because we bought this van.
Oh, I know. Lincoln Mercury.
They used it as they took a picture of the family all with the van, like we're the happy family.
A Lincoln Mercury?
A Lincoln. Yeah, a Lincoln.
Plymouth?
I don't think it was Plymouth. She's wrong in that. It was Lincoln.
Anyways, it was a minivan. That's all that matters.
It was a minivan, and it was the worst. It was. We had all the bells and whistles, and it was the worst ever. And yet we were shown as a happy family in their advertising.
I want to know. Yeah. I want to know if there's any minivan lovers in the audience or minivan haters. Dave's obviously a hater drinking that haterade. So I'd like to see if we're all on the same page. So a couple more, just real quick. I know we're having fun with this. If you had to change your name, what would it be and why? If you could change your name to anything, I got to say for me, honestly, I love my name, Shane. So you guys did a great job picking my name because some people don't like their name. They want to change it. Maybe they want to change it to Ocho Cinco or something like that. But I personally love it. But if I had to change it, I would change it to Austin just to confuse people. I have two first names. I mean, I already have two first names, but now I don't know.
All right.
Just mess with people.
So I have to say, I love Dave. I'm a big fan. But if I had to change that, I'd change it to awesome. Awesome Austin.
I disagree with that. All right, so last one. Let's just wrap it up. If this one could get interesting. Pathetic. I think that's what she's saying your name should be. So that's good. That's good. So one body part you wouldn't mind losing if you had to.
Okay, I guess. Well, I don't know how you do this. It's just partial. I wouldn't want to lose my whole gut, but any excessive parts of my
that doesn't count. I said a body part, not your excess.
Oh.
Yeah, of course, everybody wants to lose weight. Come on now. I want to make it interesting. So for me, I'm trying to think of what I could live without, and I don't want to lose any of my senses. So it wouldn't be like an ear or an eye or any tongue, anything like that. I think if I were to narrow it down, it'd be my left pinky would be the least used body part. I wouldn't want anything lower half just because anything with their legs, feet, that's going to affect so many more things. But left pinky, I could probably get by. Maybe my guitar playing would struggle, but other than that, I could survive.
You know what? I didn't have a clue because I don't like to lose anything. But I'm going to go because I was inspired by you. I guess it'd be the left pinky. I'm with you on that one.
Copycat. All right.
I know. Well, I was thinking maybe the left ear, but
you can't hear anyways, so I guess it wouldn't even affect you. We're good. All right, let's get into the queek, which is as we all know, the quote of the week. This week's a really difficult, long one to remember. It's going to be tough. It's by Rihanna. Work, work, work. If anybody knows that song, I decided to go with that one because one time we did, when you do the break at practice, when you say, all right, guys, hard work on three, 1, 2, 3, hard work. I just decided to do a Rihanna. All right, work, work, work on three. And after we did 1, 2, 3, everybody say work, 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 work. So if anybody knows that song, you know what I'm talking about. But hey, in all seriousness, though, I know that's kind of a joke, queek. A lot of people look for these mindset things, look for these belief systems and stuff that we're going to talk about, but then they don't actually put it to action. So they're like, oh, this doesn't work. Oh, this doesn't work. Well, it's like you're not actually doing anything. So I do say you got to put in the work. You do have to work. You don't want to get so consumed by it that now you're not in this present moment and now you lose all sense of real reality or what makes life significant. But at the same time, you need to find a balance where you actually are, the Gary V method, and you're grinding. You're going out there. There's a time to grind, and there's a time to, I don't know, what else is opposite of grind?
Time to
shine.
Grind.
There we go.
Shine, baby.
Time to grind, time to shine.
it is about the action you take, so I'm with you on that. If you have the greatest inspiration, you have the greatest dream, but you don't take action behind it, probably won't show up.
There we go. And David Norris said that his granddaughter danced to Riri. Work, work, work. So we got people working. And yes, we are going to talk about Friday the 13th here in a second. Actually, it's going to go right in line with the coach's tip. So before you even get into the coach's tip, am I still clear on my end? I'm starting to break up and get pixelated.
Yeah, you're breaking up, but I can hear you fine. So I think we're okay.
Interesting. So I just want to ask you, do you think Friday the 13th is a lucky or unlucky day? And I'd love to hear in the comments too what other people think. I want to get in debate here.
Well, growing up, I was always told Friday the 13th was unlucky. So I was always nervous about Friday the 13th. It always was a little freaked out. But then meeting my wife now, we've been together 36, going on 37 years. Her dad was born on Friday the 13th, I think. So in her house, it became a very lucky thing. So I never thought of Friday the 13th as lucky. So it really gets into what our tip is going to be about whatever you believe, right? So I believe Friday the 13th was an unlucky day, but Kathy kept instilling in me how much a great day it was. And now I've shifted. I look at Friday the 13th as an awesome day. Funny, huh?
It's all perspective, right? And that's the same with beliefs. Beliefs aren't fact, they're beliefs. So it's either you choose to believe the negative and drink the poison, or you choose to believe that you are the creator of your destiny despite the circumstances, despite maybe the unlucky cards that you're dealt. You can still win a hand at blackjack with almost any hand that's dealt to you. So I truly believe that it is a lucky day or an unlucky day. I think it's either. It's just like Henry Ford says, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So whether you think it's lucky or you think it's unlucky, you're right, because you're probably going to, set the stage with whatever you believe. So that leads us right into the coach's tip. You want to take us through, Coach Dave?
Yeah, something that is at the core of our Beast training program, as you know, it's done into you as you believe. Your belief system truly does shape your reality. And the difference is as to what level. Some people say, yeah, I believe this or I don't believe that. It's really every day I learn and strive to grow and begin to believe and have more confidence in the things that I do, because there's so many different levels. And I use an example of when I was an actor. I somehow believed strong enough that I could be in movies, and I was in, these big blockbuster movies, but I was always more of a bit part. When I had the chance to be the star, and didn't look at it back then, but reflecting back now, I go, well, I didn't have the belief system to actually really believe. I had the dream and the want and the need, but I didn't have the proper desire and understand that I could be that. So I was self-destruct, and we wonder sometimes why we self-destruct. Why is it that we want something so bad and we seem to be getting there and then we go back? And I think leads right into you. I'd love to hear you, we talk about the thermostat. That's what happens to us if we don't keep developing a deeper belief system.
Well, yeah, it's absolutely right. And you know how the weather just changed and dropped for us today. We've had we've been turning on the AC now. It's getting hot. But today I'm in here freezing, and Megan's like, "Don't you put on that heater, because that changes the bill. It's got to kick in. It takes a while to boot in." I'm like, "Man, I'm not going to wear a snow jacket in my own house." So I turned on the heater. Don't tell her. We're not live or anything, right? So I turned on my heater and it kicked in, and there we go. We got a regular back in the house. Billy, happy Friday. Happy the 13th. But we're talking about, for anybody just tuning in, we're talking about your internal thermostat. So how my thermostat works and how most people's thermostats work is you set it to the level that you want it at, right? You set it to the temperature you want. And then if it goes too high, if it goes, it gets too hot, the AC kicks in and it brings it back to that level, right? So now you're back at the temperature you want. Now, if it gets too cold, like it has today, and it starts dropping below that level, the heater can kick on and bring you right back to that neutral, to that level. Maybe it's 69, 70 degrees. I don't know what you like to keep it at your house. I think I have mine at 69 right now. But and Billy, no, you're not missing anything. You're getting right into the meat of it right now. So that is the same way that we are hardwired. We have an internal thermostat that keeps us level. So when we start to get in a big hole and things start to go wrong, then we usually find a way to kick back in to get to maybe that income that we're used to, or maybe whatever it is, that normal routine, because we want to get back into that comfortable state, that comfortable temperature. Now, that's a good thing when things go south, but it's also can get in our way when now you're starting to exceed what you were used to having. Maybe you just got in a ton of income and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what happened. I just won the lotto. Here we go. I'm going to be rich for life. And then you blow it all and you come right back to wherever you were. It is just unbelievable how we have this internal thermostat that's going to level us out. Until we identify where we're at and consciously focus on moving that up, not just a streak, a really quick one, we're going to fall right back and we're going to stay stagnant. And we don't want stagnation. You stagnate, you die, you hesitate, you don't go anywhere. So we are always looking for growth. We are always looking to just move that little ticker up so we can start consistently expecting a better result. But that comes down to our belief system.
And you know what? You have no better example than the lottery. You said the lotto. I just won the lotto. You see people who win $100 million, 120. We all know about this. We've heard the stories, but it's true. They have not developed a belief system that they can really be that wealthy. So, I mean, I know I have a big enough belief system. If I won $100 million, I would be rich and keep money. But if you look at statistics, those doesn't matter what, whether it's 20 million, 120 million, it doesn't matter. They end up being broke in 2 years. Now, that's crazy. It's a hard thing to believe, but it's true. They didn't develop a belief system to really believe. So their thermostat would come down to being broke again. Same thing in the NFL. If you look at it, and I haven't looked at it recently, but the last time I looked, statistics were, I think, 82% of NFL football players go bankrupt after 2 years. I mean, that's like insane if you think about the amount of money they get. That's crazy. But they haven't taken the time to develop a belief system of stability and what we need to totally buy in that we can be.
And they're not looking at the big picture. They're not looking 20 years down the road when they're not playing anymore. And I definitely highly recommend, if you haven't checked it out, check out the 30 for 30 called Broke. That's hey, Dave, thanks for stopping in. I know you got to go, but we appreciate it. Appreciate you stopping by and saying hello. Have a great Friday the 13th and a great weekend. But what I was saying about 30 for 30, and Dave, how are you commenting while you're talking to me? This is crazy. 30 for 30, that's magic. You are a magician. So 30 for 30 broke. Sorry, I'm trying to get back to focus right now. So 30 for 30 broke. I've said that about 5 times now. It's a really amazing documentary, because you see people that come from poverty and they don't know a lot of money. Now they get thrown tons of money. They just spend it like crazy because they're not looking at the end picture. They haven't set maybe a good example for how to manage money, and they just start throwing and partying. They'll drop $20,000 at a club just to, be the man for a night, right? Well, as soon as the career's over, you can't really support that lifestyle. I think even maybe a Bill Gates might end up washing out all of his money on that kind of lifestyle. It would take him a lot longer, but I bet you if he really put his mind to it, he could go broke as well. But it does come back to not just your belief system, but also looking at the big picture, looking down the line. Where's 20 years from now? Where's 10 years from now? How do we break that down? Where's that money going to be? And I know we're just talking about money in this scenario, but it comes to anything you put your belief to. If you are just stuck at a certain temperature, you are going to self-sabotage yourself once you start experiencing success. But at the same time, you also get propelled forward when you start not hitting what you truly expect. I want to show one example of that. Is when I played my first professional football, I was in the IFL. It was right out of college. I didn't have any NFL looks. I had some CFL interest, but the main thing is I needed to get some film. So I went up to a little town called Everett, Washington, just north of Seattle, and I played for the final 7 games of the season. They called me up. They said, we need a quarterback just to finish out the season. The previous quarterback had just been signed by the Vikings. So I was like, okay, there's a good opportunity there. I didn't know anything about indoor football. Let me just say I was completely naive about the whole thing. So I went out there thinking, okay, since it's indoor, they throw like 10 touchdowns a game. That's what my belief was, because I just didn't know any better. So I not only had to learn new teammates, a new playbook, new rules to the game. I went in. I had one practice with the team. Went in on Friday, started in Nebraska. I threw 8 touchdowns. The very next game, I didn't realize we were playing the top team in the conference. We ended up going to the championship that year. I threw 9 touchdowns against them. The next game, I think I threw 7. So between first 3 games, I had 8 touchdowns on average. And I was thinking, okay, I'm just below what maybe typical average is, like 9 to 10. Like I need to kind of step it up. Once I found out that the average was more around 5 or 6, because what happened is we had set like 5 IFL records in that span of 3 games. I had no idea. Once I was aware of that, I started throwing about 6 touchdowns, 5 touchdowns a game. It was crazy how my thermostat just dropped immediately. And I look at myself now, kicking myself. I'm like, I freaking knew this. Like, why did I allow this to happen? but it is unbelievable where it's just depending on what you perceive. It really is your belief system. If I would have just stayed on that track, if I would have just ignored what everybody said, I could have kept throwing 9-10 touchdowns a game. But instead, I let the outside circumstances, oh, this is not normal. And then I found a way to kind of sabotage myself. Yes, we had some injuries on the team and all of that. But at the end of the day, I found a way to drop my level of expectation, which I never want to do. So it was a great lesson for me, hopefully a good lesson for everybody else watching.
That's so true. So true. We could be going the whole day on stories. I have so many stories about not believing. And then working with people that I taught a new belief system, changed their thermostat, and it takes time. It takes work because your subconscious mind has been used to you being one way. And so it's going to want to go wherever it's familiar. That's why it's so important to get in any kind of program where you're going to support yourself, helping your subconscious mind believe in that which you can do. I've had players absolutely change their whole career because of the work that we do and businesses.
We're going to wrap it up here in a second with the review, and then also just some things that we're currently learning from, listening to, reading, whatever. But just real quick for the audience, the people that are tuning in, what are just a couple small little maybe things that they can start doing to start increasing their thermostat and their belief system? You have any on my? I have a few, but I want to see what you have.
I'll tell you. Should I cheat and say something I do?
I mean, that's not cheating.
What do you do? I do. What?
What do you do?
Well, the Be a Beast 30-day training, even though you and I run it, I always increase during that time because I get into a certain energy. And even though I'm telling people that, hey, you need to do this because it's powerful and it gets you to become more aware and you start seeing things through clearer eyes. This is our third time going through it. Every single time I increase. So I put myself in an environment where I'm being supported. And it's funny that I would say that. It's a program we do, but it's true. It was someone that, Tony Bodo mentioned that he never misses it. And I keep seeing him so productive. I thought, wait a minute. I started noticing that it's the same thing for me. So put yourself in an environment that's going to support you to expand.
Bingo. That's a great one right there. Put yourself in an environment that lifts you up rather than tears you down. Who is fanning your flames rather than blowing your flames out? Be aware of that. A couple of things that I do, very simple things. Affirmations, daily affirmations, saying I am statements. So whatever you want to be, I am, as if you are today. And also visualization. That's one of what we're really known for is our Game Readies. And Dave does a Game Ready every Monday. So tune into his Facebook Live every Monday if you want a Game Ready. But you go through that visualization process where you're seeing things ahead of time as if they're happening right now. You start programming your mind to accept and believe it. So those are just a few tips right there. Be aware of the environment you're in. Set some affirmations and do them on a daily basis. And you're basically watering that seed in the back of your mind. And then visualizations. Those are some great things. What's going on, Coach James? What is going on? Happy Friday the 13th. Good to hear from you, Coach. Man.
Hey, Coach James, buddy. Yeah, that's awesome.
If you're ready for a reunion in Portland, let me know. I definitely miss the city. That is a cool city for sure. So let's get into the review of the week and what we're currently listening to, and then we'll wrap it up. Let's start with the review if you're ready for it.
All right. Well, I think this goes perfectly with everything we talked about today. This comes from, an amazing man, Ken Blanchard. He wrote the 1 Minute Manager. He's he's the top of the top. So many people have say that he's a guy that changed your life. He's still out there just bringing it always. And so this is from Ken Blanchard. Read Be a Beast and learn why success in life is really an inside job. It's all about what we're talking about, man. It's all there.
What was your quote today on our call? We actually talked about it. We hold the key. Yeah. What's that concept? Real quick, just 30 seconds.
We imprison ourselves all along as we hold the key and stand guard so that we don't escape from the boundaries we put ourselves in. And all we need to do is say, oh, wait a minute, that's me that's keeping me from the greatness. we create our own boundaries. We allow others to kind of influence us. But that's where in our beast training, we talk about Nobo, blow up the box, blow up the boundaries, take the key, unlock the door, and charge forward.
Here's the official quote. Geez, this might be a queek soon. I might have to write this one down. It is from Roger Anthony. Not only am I the builder of my own prison, but after having completed the structure, I lock myself inside, defending my position in case I may escape. Whilst all the while in my hands, I hold the key that will set me free. The key, my friends, is integrity. Oh, and he rhymes. Jeez. So it's Freestyle Fridays as well as Aloha Fridays. But that is a beautiful, beautiful quote. I love that. So thank you for sharing that. Some things that we, and you're also the operator of your own thermostat. You control the buttons. So some of the things, let's see. I just finished a book called The 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing. Great book on marketing. Also podcast I just started. I got to finish it though. Jocko podcast. Anybody know Jocko, Navy SEAL commander? It's episode 120. How to maintain improvement over time, healthy competition, too proud to ask for help, and comfort zones. Hey, we're kind of diving into comfort zones right now. So those are a couple things I'm listening to, reading a couple things as well. And now I've lost it. Dave, you have anything you're reading?
Yeah, well, first of all, you know that we're not having the guest on our Be Live or our Aloha Fridays anymore. It's just you and I with our banter, because we're taking all our guests and we're doing our own podcast that you'll be looking for. And so hopefully you'll be listening to that too, Shane. But as far as books go, Mark Haddis has a great book called The Optimal Leader. Very solid book that I strongly suggest. I don't have it with me right now. I'll show it to you. Another book, a friend of mine, recent friend, makes me always feel short next to him, and that's Mark Eaton, who wrote the 4 Commitments. Now, this is a guy who was an NBA superstar, all-star, but his story is amazing. You think, well, if he's a all-star, he must have always been great. In college, he sat on the bench. I mean, it's really interesting that this guy, sometimes we just think, you know what? Those guys just have it. He's 7'4", he has it. He didn't even play basketball. He was working as a mechanic, and someone just kind of, let him into playing the game. He's a big mechanic, and he starts playing. He decides to go to a junior college, and then he goes, because he did well in junior college, goes to UCLA for his last 2 years, doesn't play at pay, come on. And he goes to be known as the best defensive player ever to play in the NBA.
Well, first of all, I can relate, because everybody was always looking at me, that guy's 5'11", that guy is going to make it. Let me tell you, he is going to go some places with that size. No, never had that. But his height definitely could help, but it takes a lot more than just height to make it in basketball. So I love to actually, we're going to be interviewing him on our podcast, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we really get to pick his brain. We get to dive into his mindset. That's going to be fun. So look forward to that. Any last final thoughts before we say aloha and send off for the weekend?
Well, just as we always say, this is Aloha Fridays about making business casual. We can go hard work, or we can work smart. And hopefully what we deliver you in a very casual, fun way is really smart stuff, so that you work smarter. You get rid of some of your wasted movements, your wasted thoughts that just totally get in the way and don't move you forward in the way that you deserve to go.
And it's not just business. It's life. It's sports. It's greatness. Greatness made casual. You work on the tagline there, Dave.
Okay.
So with that, thank you guys for tuning in. As always, remember, start your week strong with Dave's Facebook Lives at the beginning of each week to get you game ready and really start learning that, developing that belief system and start seeing in advance. And then you finish your week strong with us when we have Aloha Friday. You finish with a Mai Tai. And yes, Kathy, I got my Mai Tai right in here.
Yeah,
today it's water, but I'm sure to have a Mai Tai this weekend. So reach out to us as always. Explore any of our Beast trainings programs that we just mentioned, and join our Beast family. That is what it's all about. We're trying to grow our family with like-minded, high individuals, game changers like yourselves. Remember, this is, let's see, This is Shane Austin and Dave Austin signing out. See you guys next week on Aloha Friday, where greatness is made casual. Have a happy Friday the 13th.